welcome back to another episode. We're so glad to have you today. Today we're dropping off the Model Y to get serviced, finally. Yay! It's been quite the journey to try to get this thing fixed. We're on service appointment number 3, I believe. Nothing's been fixed yet, but I did get a text the other day that the headliner did not show up, so I'm going to have to schedule another appointment for that, but that's okay. I'm excited to get a lot of these issues fixed. Most of it was cosmetic. There's a whole list of items that I'll include in the description on what all we're hoping to get fixed here, but probably hoping more than what is reality on what they're going to actually fix. So we'll see how this thing turns out for us. Right now, trying to load up the demo that they gave us, which is a Tesla Model S. It's got cool wheels, but definitely an older model, and it has like 200 miles of range, roughly, something like that. I don't know. It was plugged in, had 195 miles of range to go, and so it's going to be interesting to see how well the Model S fits our stuff as compared to the Model Y. And I want to start with the car seats. So this is how they look in our car. Let's see how well they fit in the Model S. All right, so not too bad. Space from the back seat to these car seats isn't too bad. There's even a decent amount of room in between. But man, getting these in was kind of a pain in the ass. So the anchor points, I had to look it up to figure out where the heck they were. They're like buried underneath the floor. Let me show you. So you have to move this fabric out of the way a little bit. You can kind of see them down there. But I was a little alarmed. I didn't see them. All right, so it is a S85, 33,000 hard miles, 194 miles of range at whatever percentage we're at. But anyways, this car has been used and abused, as they say with all rental cars, fastest car in the world. So this one is no exception from that rule. I have no idea what year this car is. But I'm excited to try it though, just to see, because we were very interested in a used Model S. Anyways, leaving the car here, I have no idea how long they're gonna have it. They didn't really say. Drop-off process was you just pull up, park your car, and I guess put the key card in a drop box. So I went inside and asked them to put my name and stuff on the key card, because there were no like envelopes or anything. Kind of felt weird. Anyways, so I have the car dropped off. They are going to be working on a good number of things. Hopefully, I'm very hopeful that we can get the bumper paint mismatch issue solved. That's one of the bigger items on my list because it's such an eyesore. Also, the seats in the back, hopefully they can fix those, or not even any of the panel gaps that they can fix, I will appreciate. And the lift gate, it's definitely not where it needs to be. So I'm really hoping that they can straighten that out quite a bit, because I think long term that might turn into an issue. The lift gate for sure. Also some trim that's been scratched from windows and things like that that they're supposed to replace. Tail lights, hopefully those will be lined up. Really hopeful on that, because it doesn't look that great. But anyways, having a touchless service drop-off was pretty seamless, and you know, nobody even came and talked to me. Now, they probably just didn't want to talk to me. But now they've got a good excuse of not to give everybody their social distance and, you know, just drop it off and leave. And they had the keys in this with my name on the dashboard to come pick up. So it was pretty straightforward. We are hopefully going to have a well-fixed car here very soon. All right, so we're going to go ahead and head back home and wait for some updates on when our car is done. So we'll be using the Model S for a few days, I'm sure. So it'll be nice to see how well it works, see how the boys like it, see how the wife likes it. I'm not sure that she's gonna like this. It definitely sits lower, but space is pretty decent. It should be pretty interesting. Let's head home. All right, we've got the car back. Really excited to have it back. We had a 2014 Tesla Model S. It was an S85. It was not a P, it was not a D, and it was interesting. So let's do a breakdown real quick, because that Model S it was a September of 2014 build. And what that means is it doesn't have autopilot. It missed it by like 1 month. I think autopilot was October of 2014. So it was so odd driving a Tesla without autopilot. I would not buy that car, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't buy a Model S. I would look at like a 2016 or newer, because the technology just can't be beat. Now that said, it was still a very nice car. The dashboard was very nice. That screen was great. I turned the navigation on and it gives you a little map of where you're going, which was fantastic and convenient. That huge tablet. I remember when I first saw it a long time ago, I thought that's amazing. I didn't think it was quite as amazing anymore. So maybe it's worn off, or maybe I just prefer the tablet style that's in the Model Y and Model 3. So that said, the car is done. It's not done. They got everything done that they could. They ended up having to keep it 3 days. So every day I got a text of, all right, well, we're going to need to keep it another day. So whatever. Anyways, dropped it off Wednesday. Today is Friday. So 3 days to get the work done. So how did it go? First and foremost, I have no idea if anybody at the Tesla service center cares to watch videos like this, but Brandon, if you are watching, thank you so much. Just having some common courtesy or some understanding, I guess, goes a long way. He was super nice, and I kind of challenged him. He explained some things to me that really helped, and I'm going to share them with you today because I think they will really help you with your Model Y. The first thing that was brought up was the taillights. He said that, we replaced one of the housings, and it was the one on the passenger side on the lift gate, which is crazy because now that one looks good, and this one that wasn't replaced looks terrible, and the two on the corner don't look good at all. And he said, well, they're within spec. And I was like, listen, man, I have heard that's within spec, this isn't within spec, that's within, where's the spec? Can I see the spec? No, we can't share that with you. Well, then what is this spec, right? So I was a little frustrated. I was trying to be polite, and he said, well, hang on a second. So he went and came back. He actually had a tool, although he didn't share with me or couldn't share with me. I'm not going to share pictures of what that tool was or anything like that. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but he showed me the tool that they use, and it has, steps on it that just change width, and the other side is more of a smooth. So he said it's very specific on which areas have to meet which level in this tool. They are using a tool to tell if it is actually indeed in spec. That doesn't mean that somebody at some service center somewhere is just going to pass something off without checking. I really appreciated understanding that better. So when they say it's within spec, you can ask them more detail about that, but they actually do have legitimate tools to check to see if things are within spec. Probably sounded pretty lame for some of you, like, well, of course it's in spec. But anyways, I was tired of hearing it because there's nothing out there to verify. I've got calipers here. I'll check the damn measurements, right? But let's see what the spec is. I want to know. So anyways, enough about that. So I am going to have another service appointment. The headliner did not come in. And then there's a couple other things that I'll get to later that are also going to have to be addressed. Basically, they were not able to address pretty much any of the panel gaps. They tried to adjust the two rear doors a little bit to line those up a little better. So they tried everything that they could with those types of things, but no real change to any of the panel gaps. Which is okay. Overall, my car's not terrible. There are some spots that are worse than others, but the tailgate up at the top here, that gap is large. And I showed him what I meant and said, I'm kind of worried about moisture. I've been seeing, some reports of people getting moisture in the very back, and look how big this gap is. And he said, yeah, it's within tolerance. There was another Y sitting there in the service lane, and it looked the same as mine, and it just looks bad, and looks like it could be an issue, right? It looks like it should be closer, and the way that the body panels line up in the corners of that tailgate, it looks like it just needs to. So he said, listen, we can take one more look at it, but it's there's not there's not anything we would do to it. So I was a little disappointed about that one, I guess. Mostly though, the taillights. The taillights annoy me because they're so bad. They just, nothing lines up. None of it's straight. It doesn't mean the car doesn't work. It doesn't mean I don't love the car. And I know that some of you are annoyed that I even say that. Whatever, I don't care. But the reason I'm sharing that with you is, if you look at my taillights and that would bug the hell out of you, do not buy a Model Y for a while. They will not fix the taillights, period. I saw all kinds of different examples of my gap on those taillights, and I think it looks atrocious. They are apparently trying to fix some of the charging door, but as far as taillights go, they are where they are. So if that would bug you, and to me that's borderline, it annoys me because I notice it a lot. Don't buy a Model Y. Wait for 6 months, wait till 2021. Just keep a close eye on these cars as they're delivering and start to see when that issue goes away. It will get fixed in manufacturing. I am sure of it. The Model 3 had tons of issues like this that you don't see today. That stuff will be fixed. But that is one thing that, in my opinion, looks bad, that he said we're not fixing those. So good to know. That's good information. The windshield, I had a really hard time of getting pictures and video of this defect I had. It's like front, center, and down. So it was like a circle, and everything would bubble over it. It was really annoying. Just kind of an eyesore. And on longer trips, it was very distracting. They texted me on the second day and said, hey, we found that thing. Just wanted to make sure you understood the fix is to replace the whole windshield. And I said, yeah, I understand that. So they said, all right, cool. Well, the windshield will be installed, tomorrow. So I was like, cool. So they replaced the windshield. They did replace the bumper. That's the big one. Paint mismatch. It was terrible. It was very bad. I actually was not able to tell in the parking lot how good it was because of the lighting. So you and me now are going to find out how good or bad it looks together. We're gonna look at this together. So we're gonna see how well they addressed it. Also, the front bumper, while I was washing, sometimes when it rains, I notice under the air dam on the driver's side, water gets under the paint. And so I put that in the service thing and said, can you get a picture of it? And when I picked up, he said, there is a bulletin out there. So if you're having paint issues in the front corners of your bumper, where the air channels are, there is a bulletin out there, and they're replacing bumpers to fix it. So that is fantastic news. That is good to know. So I'll be including that in my next service appointment. Also, I did put on my service appointment this time. If there was a possibility of getting the insulation kit for the heat pump, that would be awesome. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it in time, but he said to go ahead and put it on your appointment because those are becoming available. And if they can get it in time, they'll do it during that service appointment. Otherwise, we'll have to do yet another service appointment. Whenever they get them, they'll be able to install them. So that's fantastic news. The newer ones are quieter because of that insulation kit. And now we can get those too, which is fantastic. But after a few days of driving in the S, a very early S anyways, with older seats, when I sat in this car, it's like, did they adjust this seat? Because it was so much different. This is just so comfortable and so plush, and you sit so much higher than an S. That's the other thing. Wow, way higher than the S. And so I had to wait, is this all the way down? This feels like, is there lumbar? No, this is just really nuts. Anyways, enough about that. I'm going to pull into the garage now. Let's take a look at the bumper and see if we like what we see. Okay, so full disclosure, the car's dirty as hell, and there's a brand new bumper on it, so it's going to be a little interesting to see if we can tell the difference, but hopefully, otherwise, tomorrow after I wash it, it'll look better. So let's take a look. All right, so I think it's probably too hard to tell. I think it's still a little yellow, but you know what? It matches a lot better with this panel here. It's really the lift gate that I'm wondering how much different it is. Really hard to tell. And as we look across the bottom, it looks okay. It doesn't look perfect. It's a little scuffed up, honestly, but yeah. If we're being completely honest, I'm surprised they replaced the bumper. That was one of the things I wasn't sure if they were going to address for us. I'm so glad that they did the right thing and did. Tomorrow I'll wash the car. We'll see how much better that bumper matches the rest of the car. So this area right here is what I'm talking about. We're just below the headlight, the turn signal and fog light area. So right in this area, the water gets in and it bubbles right here. And I've seen some pictures of people where that's actually broken off. Actually, you can see a little bit of a bubble right there on the edge. Well, it gets really big out here when water gets in there. So the guy did confirm that that the fix is to replace the bumper. So they're gonna order that, which is fantastic. I'm so excited that they're gonna do that. I'm very grateful and very happy. Hopefully this has been eye-opening for you. When I took the car, and I preached it here on this channel, that you're not gonna get a perfect car. Tesla is going to fix it. And I think that within reason, Tesla's fixing it. Yes, I think that there's a couple of things that are kind of annoying that they won't fix, but they're things I can live with in the end. I think that it's nice to see the bumper as an example. They're just replacing the whole bumper, which is, in my opinion, farther than what most companies would go. Most would just, live with it or take it off and try to paint it. And just painting it would be an acceptable outcome, I think. They didn't really balk at anything. So, I had my full list. Hopefully you are taking delivery. You're documenting everything. Like I said, use the delivery checklist attached up here. And document everything and make sure you get it at the delivery time. So that way you've got your list, and just schedule your appointment, and they'll probably keep rescheduling you until parts come in, and you might have to do a couple appointments, but and it's going to be frustrating and time consuming, but overall they're doing what they can to make it right, and that's what really matters right now. I wish I could fix these taillights because they still bug me, but other than that, the other things I'm happy with and I can live with. So last note, before you put something on the list, I think it's important to kind of think about, am I going to be happy with the fix? Let me show you what I mean. So there's now a fix for this back seat for it being not so level. Now it matches a lot closer, and the fix is a shim. When we're outside in the daylight, this gap shines light through it. It's a large gap. And if we're being perfectly honest, I would have rather have had this continue to not be level and not have that gap. So there's some things that you may want to just overlook. And in my personal opinion, I would forego getting the back seat fixed as far as being level on both sides. I would not do it. I would rather have it be unlevel at the top and not have that gap. That's one thing. As you can see, this brand new light fits really nice. It's tight, it's flush, it looks amazing. This one, we're sunk in. Got a nice gap up here. It looks like crap. It's like over here, they didn't, that's within spec apparently, so that is gonna continue to look like crap. And then this one is, this one's fine. But I mean, you can see, it's just, this whole thing is just, and then let's come over here. Completely different, right? Huge gap. I mean, these gaps are large. And if it wasn't so crooked and off center and what have you, it wouldn't bother me as much, but I think it does not look acceptable. So hopefully that has helped for you to better understand the process after you take delivery. You took delivery, you used the checklist, you have documented everything, and you now are ready for it to be fixed. Now you know what happens next. Just be patient. This will be fixed to the best of their ability. You may not be completely satisfied with the outcome, and that is okay. The whole point of documenting all of this is so that you folks who are less patient, more critical, less willing to live with some things, there's nothing wrong with that. This is a very expensive vehicle and you shouldn't have to, right? But some of us are okay with that. If you're not, this should help you understand why you should or should not buy the car, right? And ultimately that's the point. Take delivery now, or should we wait 6 months, a year, when they've sorted things out at the factory? So that'll be it for today. Thank you so much to everybody who has joined us on this journey. Our channel has just taken off, and it is because of you. Thank you, all of you who have joined us and subscribed to the channel and liking our videos and our comments. I read all of your comments. I try very hard to reply to all of them. Thank you so much. Sincerely, thank you all for everything. We've really enjoyed this journey with you guys. And I feel like this first part of the journey is coming to a close as we finally have a finished version of our car. We've got almost 8,000 miles on this thing already. And it's been an amazing 8,000 miles. It's taken what I thought being an EV owner would be like, and it's just been that much better, and we've loved every minute of it. So thank you all for joining us. If you've liked this video, click the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing, and we'll catch you on the next one.